Turn the sound off. Okay. All right. Let's wait for people to pop in. Grab my attendance book. Ouch. Yeah, I need it, and if you can plug it into that blue thing for me, that would be great. Oh, okay. Hi, Kim. Can you hear me okay? This is the wrong book. Where's the book I'm looking for? Let me know if you can hear me, please. Hi, Wanda. Can you hear me? I'm going to just double check to make sure my autofocus is working properly. Bear with me here. Where's my thing? There we go. Looks like we're good. Perfect. Okay. I gotta grab my cell phone charger. 1 second. I'm still here. My phone is almost dead and I need it for class. So I'm getting situated and organized. I have to wind the bobbin thread too. How are you guys today? Oops, maybe I should. There we go. So just give it a few to get some more in there. Just the 3 of us so far. Hi, Annie. I have to quickly wind the bobbin too. I might do that later. I'll wait till I run out. What am I doing here? I got the voiceover done of that second video. Just finished it. Yay! Wallet week is coming together. There we go. Hi, Nicole. Actually, I am going to wind that bobbin really fast while we wait. Well, that's going to not stand very good. But I'll leave it off until I need it. Let me just quickly wind a bobbin. How is everybody today? Some of you already saw during homework. Oh, awesome, Wanda, you're all caught up. We are going to be using the zipper foot a lot today. I'm actually just going to keep mine on for the day. So if you want to do the same rather than switching it out, now would be a good time. We've got a little bit of time as we wait for people to pop in and waiting for me to fill my bobbin. Get in there. Kim, you're cutting up your pieces? Okay. Let me get that going. I've been going non-stop since 8 o'clock this morning. Sounds good, Annie. You're gonna love having a zipper foot. Trust me. It just makes everything so much more accurate. And then you don't ever have to trim because everything will be good. Hi, Nicole. Say goodbye to Maddie for me. Tell him to have a good night at work. Okay, let me just rethread my machine. So is anybody on sewing with me today, or am I just sewing? I think everybody so far is cutting out, or... Hi, Anna. I'm threading my machine. That's why you see my back. Hi, Lexi. You'll see my friend here momentarily. Dot. Maddie! I've met Nicole and her husband, and whenever she puts a period, I'm supposed to yell out Maddie. So, so when you see Nicole put a period, everybody yell out Maddie. Hi, Michelle. Glad to have you for any amount of time. Are you making the Apothecary with us? Lexi's interfacing now. Oh, come on. What am I doing wrong here? I know I'm running out. I just finished sewing something, and I know I was going to run out of bobbin. So, something to try this on. Yay, Kim. Outside pieces. We haven't done the outside pieces yet. We've only... Are you talking interfacing? All we've done in this class so far is cutting. This is only class 2. Okay, hi. Okay, I saw Lexi. I saw Michelle. I saw Anna. So today we are going to get the front and back panels done for sure, and hopefully get one of the sides attached. And then the rest can be homework tonight. That's my goal. We will see. Again, lining goes together super fast. Oh, you're cutting. Almost done? Okay. We'll give you a few minutes here, just as more and more people are popping in. Who's sewing with me today? Just so I know who to look for the dones. Is the sound okay? Can everybody hear me? Can you see me okay? I got my back door open. I guess that's fine. So far I have Nicole, Wanda, Annie, Lexi, Michelle, Anna, and Kim. Frankie just messaged me. She can't make it today. She's going to catch up later. Okay, Michelle, you're sewing but started mine earlier, so go ahead. Okay. Oh, so you're ahead of us. Good job, you overachiever, you. I love it. Lexi's interfacing now. Okay, so we will have sewing with me, probably Lexi, Kim, Michelle is ahead. We'll give it about 5 minutes and then we will get started. So again, I'm leaving my zipper foot on my machine for today, my right zipper foot, just because we're going to be doing so many zippers that just makes sense. So if you want to switch to your zipper foot, now would be good. I'm trying to get a good angle here of the camera without showing too much of my messy floor. I did vacuum, I promise, but I was cutting stuff out and working again today, so. Sound and visuals good, awesome. So homework was, if you're using cotton, putting your woven interfacing on. There is no main stabilizer in the exterior of this bag except for in the bottom. So the Peltex in the bottom, and then 2 of the top panels, we would have put Decaville Light on them for homework, or EB Fuse Heavy if you're like me. And that was pretty much it. I hope I have everything I need here today. I'm kind of running around like a chicken with my head cut off, getting ready for Wallet Week. 2 tutorials done. The third one is cut out. So I'm making good time so far. Okay, let's get me organized. Oh, I should go grab my other one. Maybe a little bit of sewing and planned everything except my thread. Oh dear, Wanda. Let me grab. Hi, Benny. Hey, boy. What you doing at the door? Have my demo bag here in case we need to look at anything. So the first thing we're going to start with today is this back panel. We're going to do the back panel first, and then we're going to do the front panel. So this part here and this part here, and if we have time, we will get the sides on as well. Hopefully we will get there. All right. Who's ready to get started? Okay. I need more tables. We'll use this chair today. That works. Hi, Diane. How was your day? We're just about to get started. I was just telling everybody I've left the zipper foot on my machine. I'm going to be working primarily with my right zipper foot today, just because we have so many zippers today that it's going to be great. Want to use EB Fuse Light and EB Fuse Heavy? They are amazing. They are my favorite. My favorite. The EB Fuse Heavy is so much better than Decaville. Trust me. Decaville Light, that is. Okay. Let me just start my pieces here. Okay, let me put you down to the table. Are we ready? Are we ready? Got a lot to get through today, so. Okay, so let me put you down to the table. I got this pull-out thing for my keyboard and stuff, which is great. There we go. Okay, testing. Do we have any autofocus going, or are we good? Oh my goodness, you can see all my freckles. I think we are good. we are going to see my terrible interfacing cutting here. So what we want to pull out first, we want to pull out our back panel pieces, which are these two pieces. I'm just going to quickly trim up my interfacing here. Because I should have done that with homework, but I get lazy. I admit it. Okay. Yours is already on? Excellent. Okay, so we are going to want to take out our two back main pieces. First, I'm using cotton. And we have to figure out which of all these pocket panels is our back pocket panel. So it's going to be the one that is the same size as this, I believe. Let me just double check. We want a lining back pocket panel. So yes, that's the one that is the full size of our pattern piece. So I'm going to go through my pile of different size pocket pieces here and grab out one of those. And those are the three we are going to start with today. So everybody let me know when you have found these three pieces while I clear off my table a little bit more. So I've been so productive, getting so much made and so much done, it's not even funny. I'll trim up my interfacing while I'm waiting. I was busy. I got both tutorials, or the first two wallet tutorials, the voiceover and editing done today. I went to the grocery store, I went to the drugstore, did a homework class, got tomorrow's tutorial cut out. It's been crazy. And now class. Okay. So everybody let me know once you have found these three pieces. Is that a weird angle or is it okay? I can make it more up and down. I just got to reach up my table a little bit more. Have we found them all? Everybody ready to go? So we got our exterior back panel pieces and our lining piece. All right, let's get started. So what we want to do is we want to take our lining, main lining back panel piece and our exterior back panel piece. We're going to put them right sides together. This bag is so easy, guys. It's going to be a lot of repeat of stuff I already know what you know that you know how to do. So we're going to clip this top side. And we are going to sew across here with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. You'll also want your iron ready to go. We're going to be using the iron a lot today. Unless you've done vinyl, then you're going to be doing a lot of finger pressing. I'm going to use my iron a lot today. So we're going to go to the machine and go across here with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I will pop you guys over there. Over to Tiffany. Oh my gosh, what a mess. What a mess. All right. Let's sew across there with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. It's kind of weird using my zipper foot, but I'm going to have to change it out, so I'm going to just keep it on. Hi, Lisa. No problem. We're just getting started. Got a little bit of a frog in my throat, so if I keep clearing my throat, I apologize. Okay, so we're gonna go here. So this is what we got, and then what we want to do with these two panels is we want to flip them wrong sides together, pull this seam nice and flat, finger press it if you're using vinyl. I'm actually going to take it to the iron because I'm using all cotton, and I am going to press that seam nice and flat. So I will put you up top so you can watch me iron, which is always an exciting thing, I'm sure. Not at all. Of course, you're going to see my chair more than me. My chair. There we go. So when I'm using all cotton, sometimes I find if you iron the seam open first, it helps get a nice crisp line across there. Easier to do it, so I'm going to do that. I'm doing my seam open first. And then I'm going to flip it over. Yes, and press that really good. So if you're using vinyl, make sure you're just finger pressing this super, super good. Okay. So we have something that looks like this. And then we're going to top stitch across here with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So let's go ahead and do that. And then once everybody is done that, please let me know and we will move on, whoops, to the next step. I was like, I didn't check my tension, but luckily I'm good. Okay. Get all of these out of view because I'm sure that's super annoying. All right, so this is what we have. So I'll give everybody a minute or so to get that far. We're nicely top stitched on both sides. I'll get my next pieces ready. So I know I got to cut my interfacing pieces out of it. So once you got that done, you're also going to want to pull out your other lining back pocket panel, which is the largest size of that set that we had been cutting. I'm just going to go and give my piece a little bit of a press because it's a little wrinkly from sitting in the basket for so long. Give another minute. Lisa, are you sewing along with us today? My table is so dirty. Oh my gosh. You should see my floor under the table. Okay, so we're going to move on. So we're going to set this aside for now, just up in the corner here. We're going to take the back lining piece and this top pocket panel C. We are going to put it right sides together. You will see that there will be a little bit of an overhang on each side. That is what we want. That's how it's going to give us the shape once we do the seam there. Oh, Lisa, you've been sewing all day? What have you been sewing? So you're going to clip them together like so. Oops. And we are going to go across here with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So let's pop on over there and do that. So this bag goes together so fast. If I'm going too fast, please slow me down. I'm just waiting to run out of bobbin thread. Okay, and I'm going to show you what those little V things do at the table here. Oh my goodness, I didn't switch you over. Okay, so I sewed that seam. I did the wrong thing. So just sewed across with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Oh, awesome, Lisa. So when we have that little bit of a hangover here, that's for when you push this out, you can see how straight this line is, and it's because it's taken into account that little bit of a seam allowance there on each side. This one I'm not quite as good, but it's still pretty good. So what we want to do is we want to take this and we want to push this up like so, and give that a good finger press or a good press with that seam pointing to the top. So I'm going to go and I'm going to press that really fast. Let me put this back on split table. Get my exercise today going to the iron. Except for now you just see my chair again. So it looks like this, all pressed up. And now we are going to sew through this top panel here. We're going to top stitch right along the top there, not the lining, but along this pocket panel C. So let's go top stitch that. Make sure I click the right button this time so you get to see Tiffany. How are you liking the Apothecary so far, Lisa? It's a pretty good sew, hey? I hope my tutorial's helping. Oh, my machine's making weird sounds. I'm kind of scared to look at the bottom. I'm okay. I think I'm running out of bobbin thread. Let me just check that bobbin out right now. Don't have very much left, so I'm going to switch it to my full one now. I can tell it's almost time to change my needle too, I think. She's been working hard. That's better. Perfect. All right. Okay, so this is what we should have so far. So I'll give everybody a couple minutes to get there. I'm glad. So Lisa, you're finding it helpful that I released the tutorial early during the class as well, hey? Like that was a good idea? So what we should have now is this lining piece with this pocket PC on top, and then we have this slip pocket. So I'll give everybody a minute to get there. If you're working on this, please let me know that you're done. Otherwise, I will move on in a minute or so. I'm so glad the tutorial is helping you, Lisa. That's great. I ran out of coffee. reading the directions too, because I know this pocket is a little bit different. I'm trying to remember what it was. All right, I remember. Okay, give it another minute. I should mark Lisa's here. Lisa. Yes, please post them in the subgroup for sure. I'd love to see them. Okay, so now what we're going to do, so this seam here and this seam here, we are going to butt them right up together like so. You see how they kind of go? So this is like that. You want the seam to be right even with that one, nice and centered, so they line up on the sides. I'm just going to take a couple clips to hold that in place there, because we're not sewing that just yet. Then what we want to do is we want to lift up this bottom up and out of the way like so. And then we're just going to sew these lining pieces. Mine are a little uneven, so I'm just going to, and this is going to close up that bottom pocket. So we're going to clip just that pocket. So again, this is the exterior. We're flipping it up and out of the way. Did everybody see how we got there? So we put these butt up right to each other here. I put clips in to secure. I lifted up this bottom here to reveal the lining and clip those lining panels together. And now we're going to go ahead and stitch across here with a 3/4 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. So 3/4 of an inch. That's a huge seam allowance, holy moly. Okay. Move my phone cord out of the way there. There we go. Okay, so this is what we have, and then we want to trim this up to 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to take my rotary cutter because it's a nice straight edge. And trim that up like that. All right. And then once that's done, we can baste up these sides here just to secure these all together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well, and then I'll give everybody a couple minutes to catch up before we move on to the next thing. Said the back panel goes together so incredibly fast. So this is just basting 1/8 of an inch or so. Oops, don't sew my finger, Brandy. There we go. Just up the sides. And just to where the pocket meets. And the other side. All right. Oh, I want split table. So what we've done here, so the reason we trim this out, and this makes it so it's we won't be so bulky when we go to sew our bottoms together. That just reduces some of that bulk. Because we have so many pockets in this, we want that bottom seam not to be too bulky, but that has created our back slip pocket. Now I should have mentioned before, I didn't do it, but I've seen some people put a magnetic snap in there if they want it to stay shut, but because of the shape of it, I find that it'll stay shut pretty good. So give everybody a couple minutes there to get that done while I grab the next pieces. Believe it or not, we're almost done this back panel. We're getting pretty close. Okay. Deal, I got a frog in my throat, and I know I keep clearing my throat. I'm so sorry. Everybody's so quiet. Where's everybody at? So if you are waiting, you're going to go and grab one of your side piece or two of your mirrored, a set of your mirrored side pieces. Go one more minute. I should, Lisa. I actually have herbal tea for that, but I didn't make it. Still kind of lingering from that cold I had, so. Lexi's done. Yay, you're all caught up. Okay. Is there enough light there? Can you guys see? Okay, so now what we want to do is take two of our mirrored sides, and you're going to see the sides that have the little notches off the top and the diagonal side on each. So I have it laid out because this is how we're going to be sewing it on. You're going to see how it's going to totally square up our piece here. So laying it out just helps with the orientation well. You're going to take this, you're going to lay it right sides together, and this straight line here is going to line up with the top of this, like so. And then the bottom as well. My bottom may hang over a little bit, but that's, oh, I think it's supposed to actually. Okay, so the bottom here, see how it kind of has this curvy thing? So this curvy part should kind of match the bottom there. So do the top and the bottom, and then you can see how you can evenly distribute that fabric in between those marks. So see how even it is there? And while I'm here, I'm going to clip on the opposite side as well, just to save some time. So again, matching up that little notch there to the top. Matching up this little notch with that corner. You see how it matches perfectly right there? So this part will hang down, but you want to match up this corner perfect. and then distribute that fabric evenly between. So in this pattern, you really have to watch the instructions. I actually normally don't run by the instructions. I usually have it off the top of my head. But because the seam allowances changes so often in this, I actually have it open in front of me and I'm going step by step so I don't mess up any of the seam allowances. So now what we want to do is we are going to go down both of these sides with a 1/2 inch seam allowance this time. So let's go on over to the machine and do that. 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, where's my mouse? There we go. Tiffany. So a 1/2 inch. This is where I really love my tape here because it's a measuring tape. This is what it looks like, but it's like a washi tape. And I just set that like one of the numbers with the center of my needle, and then I put my magnetic one wherever that seam allowance is. So that's where the 1/2 inch is. Just because I don't have markings on this computer. So that really, really helps me out anyways. Okay. 1/2 inch. And you'll see it'll start almost right where that little straight notch is. Same with the other side. Okay, Lexi, sounds good. Over and do the other side. And now it's time to top stitch these. So I'm going to stay at the machine here. And I'm going to be, our seam is here, but we want it to be pointing towards the side. So what we're going to do is we are going to finger press it really good like this, making sure it's nice and taut. So the seam is going towards the side like that. And then we are going to top stitch through that side panel to keep that in place. So change your top stitch length and top stitch through that side. And then do the exact same thing with the other side. Make sure my stitches look good, and they do. My bobbin tension sometimes goes out when I change the bobbin and I didn't check it really, but it's good. Check it, yeah. And same with the other side, pushing that seam nice and tight and sewing it in place. And that's done. And this is what it looks like so far. Super fast, hey? So I'll give everybody 2 minutes to get to that point. And then we are going to move on to the front panel. So I'm going to get all my pieces together while everybody's working on that. So we can set this one aside for now. So that's our functioning back panel. And I'm going to need all of those pocket pieces. What I'll do while I wait is trim up all of my interfacing because mine is a mess. And I'm going to give these a good press because again I'm using cotton and they got a little bit all wrinkled up here as I put them in my bin all hot. How's everybody making out? Everybody's quiet today. We're about to do a whole bunch of zipper work. Like a ton of it. I'm going to press these really fast. Lisa says my sides are a little off. One is slightly longer on top and one on the bottom. Should I redo it? How much is it off by, Lisa? If it's only by like 1/8 of an inch or so, I wouldn't worry about redoing it. It should be fine. But any more than that, I would. Just because we need them to be nice and even. Benny, are you okay there, baby? My dog's lying on the floor making me nervous. He hasn't been feeling very good lately. Quarter of an inch longer. So you're saying here it's like up here and here it's down like this? That's a significant amount. I would say I myself would redo it. I mean, if it was just 1/8 like this one here, I'm about 1/8 of an inch off, but it's not going to affect anything. But when we have a 3/4 inch or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, 1/4 of an inch is almost there. So I definitely myself would redo it. Trim all my interfacings right now. How's everybody making out? That one I cut really weird. Well, it's just a lining piece. Okay, cool. I'll wait for you, Lisa. It won't take you very long. So while I'm waiting, I am actually going to do my zipper tape. So the first zipper tape, I'm doing a large, so I'm going to have to cut 9.5 inches. If you're doing small, you're going to be cutting 8.5 inches. So while we're waiting, we can prepare those things. Diane, I'm way behind. My pocket panel is smaller when I attached it to the aligning. Which pocket panel? So this one attaching to this lining? Lisa has the back panel done? Okay, cool. Or did you use your front panel, which is smaller? Like this is my front panel one, and it is a lot smaller. You have to make sure, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me, you used your right one because there's so many different sizes of them. So This one you would have had to use when your pattern piece was folded down by this. That's what this piece here is. Oh no, I lied. It was this full piece. So it would have been a full pattern piece. Is that what happened, Diane? Maybe you used the one where it was folded down and it was smaller, because we have 3 or 2 different sizes that we're using. Oh, this one here? I'm confused. I'm not sure where you are. So this one will be smaller because that's our slip pocket, and that's where we attach these linings and sewed them together. We flip the exterior out of the way. I'm thinking that maybe you used the wrong piece, potentially. For both. So are you talking the slip pocket or the backing? This pocket panel. Hi, June. So Diane, are you talking just this one or the back pocket? You'll catch up? Okay, you can always rewind this live to Diane and go to that point, and then if you still can't figure it out, we can always work it out together. Okay? All right. How are you today, June? I'm just cleaning up my messy interfacing job here. You'll watch the replay? Okay, Diane. Sorry, I'm confused. I'm not sure which parts you're talking about, but I have a feeling that maybe some wrong pieces were used, because that's one thing with this, is you really got to mark the pieces because they're all similar in shape, but they're all different sizes. So the backing would have been a full piece. So the backings we have, like here, we got the 2 shorter pieces. These are the medium ones, and we have now used the 2 large ones on the very back pockets. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to prep our zippers. So we are going to start cutting zipper tape. If you're using zipper tape, I don't think I have anything long enough. So my first one I am cutting for my zipper tape. I am going to cut, because I'm doing the large, I have to cut 9.5 inches. If you are doing the small, you are going to cut 8.5 inches. So I really just use my board here to measure and cut. So there's my 9.5 one. I'm going to cut all my zipper tape right now. 9.5. And if you're doing the small, it's 8.5. The next one is, I'm going to do 8 3/4. If you're doing the small, you're going to do 7 3/4. So 8 3/4 for me. And I'm going to put my pulls on those. So if everybody wants to watch me put my pulls on again, I'll bring this up. Ignore my duct tape table. It's a well-loved table. Oh, I have my I I have my keyboard here now. Let me kind of scooch you over. I don't know how I can show you this. Scooch you over here. So I got my fork here, right here. Can you see that? Probably can't. So I have my fork up here. I'm gonna grab one of my zipper pulls and put it up so the wrong side of up is facing up. And then put it on nice and even. Sometimes it takes me a couple tries. Sometimes I get it right away. That one I got right away. Woohoo! And the other one. That's what you did? Oh, good. Okay, easy fix. Come on. I got that one perfect too. Hey, it's a good zipper day for me. Woohoo. Okay, sorry if I'm making you guys dizzy. All right. So give everybody a minute or so to get their zipper pulls on. And then we are going to start these pockets. The pockets are the most time-consuming part of all of this. And we're going to use this pattern piece to figure out which pieces we are using. I'm so glad we figured it out, Diane. I'm going to kind of get these all laid out the way they go. How's everybody else doing? Everybody's so quiet today. That's not very straight. Man, I was out to lunch when I was cutting, wasn't I? I have always been a very lazy cutter. I tend to make up for where I do it kind of lazy when I sew my seams and make them even that way, but straighten my camera out because I moved it around. Now I'm all crooked. There we go. Okay, so now we are going to do our zippers. So what we need for pieces wise is we need an exterior pocket A, which I know is this big one, as well as a lining pocket panel A, which will be the same size. So we're going to take, is that right? Lining pocket A, lining pocket A. Why is this one so much smaller? I really cut this piece bad, but we'll make it work. We're going to do this one first. Actually, no, we'll do this one first. So this one, again, you can see I cut it really weird, but I'm going to make it up. It's a lining pocket piece, so it'll be okay. I don't have any more of this, so I can't recut it, but that's what we'll do. So we got to take, they should be the same size. As you can see, I'm really crooked and not quite. It just means I'm going to have a little bit of a narrower pocket, which is okay, but it should be exactly the same size like this one is. So we're going to take that lining piece. I'm going to take some double-sided tape. If your machine doesn't like the tape, make sure you use clips here to hold it in place. Put it along the top. As long as they're the same width, that's what all that matters, and it is. And I'm going to take my longer of the two zippers here. So, which way? I'm going to want my pull to be facing the right. kind of doing this opposite from the pattern because this is the way I like to do it, usually with the lining first. So I got my zipper and my lining right side up, and I'm going to take this and I am going to stick it all the way across, and it should fit perfect. Stick it down. I'm just going to envision this to make sure I have my zipper going the right way. Yes, I do. Okay, so your lining piece, your zipper pull is closing to the right. Then I'm going to take, you can go ahead and baste that if you wanted to, but because I'm using double-sided tape, I'm not going to worry about that. You can also just add it into the clips because you just have it all clipped together with clips instead of the tape, like so. You want to make sure these are nice and straight. I do encourage you to change to your zipper foot so you get nice straight zippers. So on the right side of this piece, we're going to put some more double-sided tape along the top. Now what we're going to do is we are going to put the lining panel and the main panel right sides together, sandwiching that zipper tape in between and making sure the top here is nice and even. I cut the width good, so that is good. It just means that my pocket is all wonky here. You can see I'm like way out with it, but it's just the lining. It'll be fine. And now we're going to go to the machine and we are going to sew across here all 3 layers with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, so we will pop over there. My table is extra shaky today. Holy moly. Okay. So that's where I have my zipper foot on. Super helpful now. 1/4 inch and sew across. When you get to where your zipper pull is, you'll probably have to put your needle down to move that zipper out of the way. Coco says hi, everybody. Did I say 3/8 in the video? In the pattern, oh no, you're right, 3/8, it's a basted at 1/4. Thank you, Lisa. I'm gonna go back in. It is 3/8 inch seam allowance. In the pattern, it has you basted on first, and that was what I was reading, but it is 3/8. Thank you, Lisa, for that catch. So 3/8 inch. So I'm just gonna go in again, 1/8 inch away from that line that I just did. That's why I love this group. That would have made our bag like super big, and we would have had to trim it up, which would have really sucked. So thank you for saving the day. 3/8. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is 3/8. So thank you so much. So let everybody get to there, sewing with their 3/8, not making the mistake I did with the 1/4 inch first. Give it a minute for everybody to get caught up. Already after 5, the time just flies. So while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead. So what we want to do next is we want to actually push these panels. Make sure I don't wrong sides together like so. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to press this with my iron because I'm using cotton. If you're using vinyl, you'll just have to finger press it or iron it from the cotton side if you're doing it. So I'm going to make sure I have these ironed nice and taut away from my zipper teeth on both sides. Again, ignore how wonky this looks because I have cut it weird, but I'm going to go ahead and I am going to iron that. Very important to make sure the lining is nice and tight away from that your zipper teeth because you don't want them to get caught in there. I haven't worked with cotton exterior in so long, it feels weird. There we go. So once that's done, so I got it away from the zipper teeth, and I just kind of test it, make sure you don't pull it off to make sure that your zipper moves freely. Mine does. It's not catching on the back anywhere here. And we are going to top stitch right along here to hold that seam in place. It is, isn't it, Nicole? Usually I'm using vinyl and I'm finger pressing or using tape as my base, but all right. So as you can see, I'm looking all wonky. That's okay. It's because I cut it weird. It'll all work out in the end, I promise. I make mistakes too. This is just how I cut it though, so not too worried about it. Okay, so give everybody a couple minutes to get to there. I really want to get all these zipper pockets done, at least, and the sides on. The other lining pocket B. Okay. Okay, I think I have my pieces all organized here. How's everybody making out? One more minute. So this pattern is actually super easy. The hardest part is keeping your pieces straight. There are just so many pieces. And they're all caught from the same pattern piece, which makes it even more confusing, but okay, so now what we want to do is we want to take The other lining A piece, so the pocket panel A piece, so that's folded at this dash line. See, this one I cut properly, so it's the right size. Okay. And we're going to repeat the same process that we just did. So I'm going to put some double-sided tape along the top here. Use clips if you need to use clips. Look at that, I got a, okay. Pull the tape off. Come off. And then we're going to take this pocket panel that we just finished and we are going to put this on top like so, lining up our sides here. Just making sure these sides here, not my extras here, but here. And you can see it doesn't quite go all the way, but that's okay because we're going to trim that up later. So when you see the lining sticking out, we are okay there. And then you're going to take the next piece, which is, this one was called, what was this one called? Oh, it's over there. This one is called the pocket panel B. So it's the second largest. It's not the smallest. It's the second down. And along this bottom, that's where I'm going to put my tape. Said you can go ahead and baste this on with a 1/4 inch seam allowance before doing this if you want, but I'm going to do it all at once with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. And this will match, these corners will match the zipper tape perfect. See, like that. So attach that to your zipper tape. So do not be alarmed when you see our lining all hanging out right here. That is fine. And don't be alarmed when you see my lining all hanging out here. It's fine. We will clean all of that up soon, I promise. So now we're going to go across here with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Let me get us back over here. Move your zipper pull out of the way if you need to. Okay. Oops, table here. Okay, so give everybody a second to get there, and then we're going to do this a little bit different. For the top stitching, how's everybody making out? While I'm here, I'm just going to go and trim up that one that I have cut all wonky. I can do that right now. There we go. That looks better. Messy. Okay, so now for our top stitching, we're going to leave that lining piece going down like so. The only thing we're going to press up is this top panel. I'm actually going to take it to the iron and top stitch it, or press it, and you can see how nice and even that angle is. Ignoring what's hanging out on the sides here, what I do is kind of put my hands along the sides like this, and you can see that the shape is right and we are doing it right. So I'm going to quickly just take this and press this into place, and then we're going to go ahead and we are going to top stitch along this pocket panel A piece right along here, or pocket panel B piece, okay? Okay, I'm gonna go quickly iron it. Get to play with my new iron a lot, which is nice. So nicely pressed. Again, the pocket is still going this way. It was only that exterior piece we pressed up, and we're gonna go ahead and top stitch it. Quiet group. Everybody must be working hard. That's what it looks like. Again, when it's looking all wonky, don't worry about it. We're going to be fixing that, I promise. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to repeat the exact same process that we just did with this one with the top zipper. So I'm going to let everybody go on their own to attach the top zipper with... Oh no, maybe I should show you. I'm gonna wait. I'll wait. It is a little confusing. I'll give everybody about 5 minutes or so. Is that enough time? Where is everybody at right now? Is there anybody that's about where I am, where I should be continuing, or is everybody quite a ways behind? By 5:30, we should be putting our sides on. So we are a little bit ahead of schedule, so I can definitely give you guys a little more time if that's needed. Would you guys like a little bit of time? Just gotta let me know. June's already got her front and back done. Did you have any issues or was it good? Okay, well, we'll give it till about 20 after and then we will move on then. Lisa is okay? Awesome. You get confused on how many different, and then it cut off, June. It gets confused with all the different shapes or pieces, and then having to make sure that your zipper pocket's going in the right, or your zipper pull's going in the right direction, and it gets confusing. Oh, yes. Been there. I did the same thing on the first one too, June. My first bag. I mixed up one of the pieces, so I kind of had to figure it out. But Still worked out. That I think this front section with all the zipper pockets is what's the most confusing, just because there are so many pieces. Okay. 1 more minute. Love the pattern, could not stop. Now I'm worried about the bottom and hope it goes well to attach it. I have a trick for it that I had wished, actually, if you watch my tutorial, I did say it in the tutorial, what I wish I had done. So we're going to try to do it the other way. Sorry, my mom is messaging me. Okay, so now we're going to take the 2 lining pieces we have left are the same size. Okay, so we're going to do it again. I'm going to use my double-sided tape again along the top. Take that tape off. I hope my trick works, June. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll work. I've done it in a different bag, so I think it'll be good. Oh, no garbage can. Okay, and then I'm going to take my zipper tape, my next zipper tape. I'm going to make sure my pull is going to the right and it's right side up. And we are going to stick it along that lining, nice and centered. Again, it's not going to go right to the ends. So just make it nice and centered the best you can. And then our panel that we have here, we're going to go, whoops, more tape across the top. Again, you can use clips to hold these together. And we are going to put this right sides, oops, I missed, come on. Right sides together with that lining, sandwiching that zipper with the zipper pull going to the right. And the zipper and the top of this should be the same length. So just match up that top with that zipper. Like so. And then sew across here with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. Okay, gotta move my zipper pull, so make sure your needle's down if you need to move your zipper pull. Make sure you don't pull it off the end, because that would be sad and hard to put back on. Okay. And then once again, we want to flip this part and this part wrong sides together, like so. And you're going to see how these are going to be all the same length kind of on the back. Finger press along here. Again, I'm going to take it to the iron and give it a good press away from my zipper teeth. Make sure your zipper pulls are going to the left, which mine are. So we know that we've done that right. We want them going the same direction. And I'm going to go ahead and give these a press, and then we will get that last panel on. Okay? Here, I'll push you guys up to my face so you can see me a little better up there. Okay. How's everybody making out? Again, remember you can contact me all week long if you need any help. I will do my best to help you. Hot. This thing has hot steam. Make sure that opens and closes. So this is what we have. We have a straight edge here. We have this pulled away from our zipper tape, making sure that our zipper opens and closes, which it does. And we're going to go and top stitch right through here. So this kind of rinse and repeat to just make it. The hardest part is making sure that you're using the right pieces. Kim says, on the lining, are we putting woven interfacing and then Decavol? Yes, if you are using cotton, you'll do woven interfacing and then Decavol. Kim, all we've had for homework, we haven't done the Decavol yet. We're just doing the woven for the lining, and we can do the Decavol together next week. Or actually, that will be homework for this week to put that on. I got to look at the pattern piece first to make sure that... or look at the pattern quickly to make sure I remember exactly what we're doing. So, but yes, if you're using like a canvas or something, don't do the medium woven, just do the Decavol. Okay, so this is what we got here. She's looking good. And then the last two pieces we're going to put on the same as this middle piece. So I am going to put some double-sided tape along the lining piece. We're almost done the stressful part. And after this, you'll be so good at zippers, you have no idea. Okay. So we are going to put this on nice and centered. Again, kind of matching up the sides, but at the zipper, it will have that overhang again. No, stop sticking. So kind of just pay attention to the exterior sides here. I have to move it down because I can't quite see when it's that far up the table. Just make sure that you have even amount of the lining on each side. Can't see what I'm doing. Get in here. Oops, I didn't do that very good. Do it again. Again, I'm up the table, so I can't really see what I'm doing. Okay, I got to put it down here just for a second, just so I can line it up good. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And then we're going to take this final piece and put some tape along the bottom and do the same thing. Look how, I got to trim my bottom up. Look how bad my cutting was. Hi, Coco. Yeah, that's fine. So along the bottom. And you're going to see my cutting was really bad here too, but I'm going to make up for it in the seam allowance. Put this right sides together. Sandwiching the zipper tape once again, and it should be the same length as the tape. So here you can see me, because my seam allowance was a little bit out here, it goes down a little bit. That's okay, because when I sew across, it's going to catch all that, so I should be fine. Try that again. Okay, and then we're going to sew across that with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance as well. You have a medium interfacing, Kim. That medium interfacing, I would say, would be more for card slots, or are you thinking about putting that on your canvas? Okay, so over to Tiffany, do that 3/8. Thinking my zipper's going to be crooked there. Now the reason I can tell my zipper's, oh my goodness, I didn't switch it over. Let me do this again. It's okay because I have to do it again anyways. You can see how my line kind of goes crooked and it goes up here to maybe 1/4 of an inch. That's how I know my zipper's going to be a little crooked, so I'm going to go back into here and even that out so I don't have a crooked zipper. Oh, Sofuse Plus. I would go with the light and then the Decaville heavy. I don't know the Sofuse products at all, so I'm not much help there. Sorry, Kim. I don't know. You could always message Monica of Casting Handcrafted and ask her if any of it is an equivalent, but I really don't know. That's an American brand. I don't really know it very well, so sorry. Okay. So then I'm going to look, yeah, and see now my zipper is straight because I straightened that out. So just like we did with the last piece, we're leaving the lining piece hanging down. And we're going to go ahead and press just this exterior part up. Double check that we're still lining up, which we are. Give that a good press, and then we're going to top stitch right through here. We are not using Decaville Heavy for the lining. We're using Decaville Light, Kim. I'm going to be using an EB Fuse Heavy, which is an equivalent to Decaville Light. We're not using Decaville Heavy at all. Unless you're putting it in your base. It's Decaville Light is what you're using. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and iron this. Oop, wrong button again. Okay, good. So Nicole's saying you can use 2 layers of Sofuse Plus to replace Decaville Light. Thank you, Nicole. So I'm not familiar with the product, so I just don't know. We're going to go ahead and press that up. I think I said EB Fuse Heavy. That I could have said Decibel Heavy too, but yeah, no Decibel Heavy. No. Decibel Light, I'm using EB Fuse Heavy. Sorry if I've created confusion. Okay, so that's all pressed up. Again, the pocket is down. So we're going to go ahead and top stitch through this top part. No, Kim, it might be me. I could have said it as well. Sometimes what comes out of my mouth is different than what is in my brain, so it's all good. Okay. So we'll give it a couple minutes. Now I am looking like I'm oblong, but you got to remember we're trimming some of this up and then it'll be somewhat straight. I'm glad Nicole knew what Sophie's Plus was because I just don't. How's everybody making out? I'll give everybody about 4 minutes. It does look like it's so oblong because everything is sticking out. Holy moly. I promise you it's not. Here we go. Look at that. See how straight it is? Promise we're going to be taking care of all of this excess out the sides. And next we're going to start sealing up these pockets. We'll give it about 3 minutes or so. How's everybody making out? Coco says hi. How's your hand doing, Kim? You're not overdoing it, are you? Okay, another minute. Good. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that it's not too much pain for you. Okay. So now what we're going to do is you're going to flip this up, this exterior piece up like so. And you're going to see these two, and of course mine are all wonky, remember, because I cut them bad. We're going to take this one and this one, the first ones you come to. I'm actually going to trim mine up because mine was wonky. So you won't have to do that. That's just mine because I cut it weird. So again, you're flipping this up, grabbing those first two lining pieces. I still cut them weird. And you're going to clip them together. Leaving these ones hanging out down out here. We're just doing the first two when you lift up the bottom. I'm going to, okay, and I'm going to flip it over this way. You want to make sure, nope, you want to make sure your pocket is lying nice and flat. So we're going to flip that up, and also these two bottom ones up and out of the way, making sure this is still lining flat. If you saw my video, you would have saw that I almost made a big boo-boo when I didn't do that. So you want to make sure this zipper is lying flat. Those lining pieces are out of the way, this one's out of the way, and we're going to sew across the bottom of this one with a 3/4 of an inch seam allowance. So let's go and do that. Again, making sure that it's laying flat and everything's up and out of the way. And this is why I wasn't too worried about this being so uneven, because I knew it was a lining piece and I can make up for it. If it was an exterior piece, I'd be crying. Okay. Where are we? Table. Okay. So again, I'm flipping it up, flipping everything out of the way, and we're going to trim up this seam to 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to take my rotary cutter. Doesn't have to be pretty, just a rough. And that's to get it out of that bottom seam, because we do not want, we want the least amount of bulk in that bottom seam, especially when we're doing a semi-oval bottom. Okay, so that's the first pocket done. So now we're going to lay everything flat again. You're going to fold up this panel. You're going to fold up that one that we just sewn. Make sure our zipper is still laying nice and flat, which it is, and we're going to do the exact same thing with this one. I'm actually going to trim mine up because I'm way off again. Lazy cutting, Brandy. And so across there, I'm actually not going to clip it. I'm just going to go ahead and go across with a 3/4 of an inch seam allowance again. Quarters. Okay. All right. So once again, this is it flat. Front one. There's one pocket. Here's the other one. We're going to trim this one up to 1/8 of an inch seam allowance as well. Ish. And that's closing up the bottom of those two zipper pockets. It should look like this on the back. So these two are actually pretty much this, almost the same, but we just want to make sure they're out of this bottom. I'm going to trim this one down just a little bit more. perfect. I want to make sure I'm good. So the reason my pocket here looks crooked, that's because I cut that one weird. Remember, it was way off by that 1/2 inch, but it's a pocket. Nobody's going to know. So it's all good. Now we get to even this up. So I'm going to take my ruler and line it up with the exterior like so. And I'm going to take my rotary cutter and I'm going to just have at it. Like that. That's one side done. You see how nice and straight it is? And do the same with the other side. I'm going to put my zipper pulls out of the way so they're not in the way of my ruler. I'm going to follow the shape of the bag. Ah, this is the one where I accidentally cut that corner off, but it'll be okay. Because it'll get caught in that seam allowance. So okay, once you get your line good, go ahead and trim it up. I got to stand up to do it though. Just like that, besides my missing corner here, but we'll catch that. And then we're going to go ahead and baste down these sides, and that'll finish off those zipper pockets. Okay. So I'm going to go back and forth a couple times over the zipper teeth just to create that little bit of an extra stop. Oh, cocoa beans. And the other side. And I'm just starting the base right where the bottom of the pockets are. Okay. There we go. And now we are going to put the sides on exactly like we did with the back side. Easy peasy. You guys know how to do this already. So once again, you want to lay these out so this little line is at the top, like so. Put them right sides together. And we are going to sew these, remember, with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So line up that top edge there and bring it around. That's where I'm not worried because I cut off that corner and that's like 1/4 of an inch, but we're going to be sewing with a 1/2 inch. So it's going to be perfectly fine. I'm just going to make sure that my side is following here. That's how I get over that when I have bag cutting. I can hide it in the seam allowances. Now, if it was bigger than a 1/2 inch off, I would have had to recut my piece. So next class, we will be doing a little bit more with the exterior. The lining's going to come together fairly fast. So we'll start the beginning of the class with the remaining of the exterior and then start the lining, and then the next day we'll be finishing up, or the next week we'll be finishing up the lining and putting it all together. Okay, so I'm lining up that. distributing that evenly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sew those with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I could cut this piece a little long, so I'm just going to trim it up. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. 1/2 inch down each side, and then we will top stitch them as well. Where is my, I want to make sure my seam allowance is good. And this is the most time-consuming part of the whole bag. Doing this front panel. Oops, I think I went a little bit off. But you want to make sure your seam allowance is as accurate as it can be on these pieces, because when we go to put that oval piece on, we need it to be the right size. Lining, well, if we're a little bit off, lining you can always finagle it a little bit, but you can't the exterior. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and top stitch. Push them towards the side panels, just like we did with the other side, or the back side, and stitch them into place. And the other side. And there we go. So we have working zippers that go to the same side. Just double check that you didn't sew them shut by accident somehow. They're such big zippers, I swear. There's the other one. Just reach in and make sure it's good. This one, this is the one that goes all sideways on mine because I cut it weird. Now, if you are going to be putting on a nameplate, this is where you would do it, because you're going to have to lift up through this bottom here to only put it through this one panel. So I would put it up, where would I put it up? I don't even, it all depends on your tag, I guess. So you're going to have to eyeball. Keep in mind that our bottom seam allowance is, I'm going to double check it. Our bottom seam allowance is 1/2 inch seam allowance. So you want to keep in mind that we're going to lose about 1/2 inch here where you want it to be. So I would say I would want mine centered right about here. So I'm just going to kind of put my finger there. I would say yeah, I'd be going up about 2 1/4 inches or so to put my nameplate there. So if it was right there, it would look really good. So that'll be homework, is if you're putting in your nameplate, you're going to put your nameplate in just on that exterior, reaching up into this hole here. Okay. Another thing for homework is we all know how to do our connectors. So all I need you to do for the connectors, and I'll show you quickly, I'll do it on this one, and you're going to do it for all 6. You're going to, I'll do the long one first. We're not going to do the connectors fully. I just want the stitching of the connectors done. So you're going to put double-sided tape on the long sides of the connector pieces. And then you're going to fold them into the center line. So I've drawn a 1-inch center line into the middle. Fold it into the middle. And then top stitch down each side. Now you're only going to do the top stitching on the 4 smaller ones. These 2 longer ones do not do top stitching on. You can just get them prepped with the tape, or we can quickly do that next time. But for these 4 smaller ones, you want to do that. So the 4 smaller connectors, fold them into the middle, do your top stitching down each side, and have those 4 done, and have these ones done without the top stitching. So the crossbody connectors, we do not need the top stitching on. The connectors, the shorter connectors, we do. So if you guys could have those prepped for next week, that would be great. That'll help speed things up a lot. So let me, whoopsies, let me write down what homework is. It's not too much. Okay. So our lining pieces, we want to adhere our Decavol light onto our lining pieces as per the pattern. So go ahead and do that for homework. Our pocket overlays, if you're doing the slip pocket and the zipper overlay pockets like I do them, and you want to edge coat them, go ahead and edge coat them for homework. Do your 4 short connectors with top stitching. Okay, and your 2 crossbody connectors, just tape them. And that's it for homework. It shouldn't take too long. Again, for the connectors, or I may or may not come on for a homework class, because I think everybody knows how to do that. But if you definitely need a homework class to learn how to do that, or if you're having any problems with what we did today, reach out to me and I will make sure to come on for a homework class. I don't think we really need one otherwise, unless somebody is needing me. Oh, and also put your nameplate on if you're using a nameplate. Are there any questions about anything that we did today? Everybody's been quiet. I think we're all moving at different stages and speeds, which is perfectly fine. Remember, I am 100% here for you. Just shoot me a message on Facebook or an email or what have you, and I will help you with any problems that you are having. But we did a lot of work today. I mean, we got the exterior, 2 exterior main panels done. This one is the one that takes the most time, and we got it done. They both ended up being the same size, so we did something right. Yay! And so, yeah, next week we'll finish up the exterior and putting on that bottom. Again, next week may be a lot of still working on this exterior. The lining will come together super fast. The lining is a lot of repeating how we put this together, but without the pockets. We will be doing a recess zipper, so that is new. That is something that I haven't taught before, so we'll be doing that next week as well. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully we'll be getting the exterior 100% put together. The lining, we will go through adding the slip pocket and the overlays where I'm going to add them, because they are not necessarily in the pattern the way I do them, so I'll work through that with you. We will do the recessed zipper, and yeah, and then the lining, once we got those panels done, homework will probably be to put the lining together, because it goes together the exact same way as I'll be showing you for these exterior panels. So I hope that that was a good class. It's 6 o'clock. Time sure flies. We got everything done that I wanted to get done. That makes me happy. Again, reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm 100% here for you. And also remember that just you guys, just the members, have access to the tutorial that I made on this too, which could be a great resource for you if you wanted to just go in and find somewhere quick in that quick thing to see, because it's only a 45-minute, I think, video, or 50-minute video. So you can go back to where you need to see there, use the replays of this, and reach out to me and the subgroup. Reach out to your peers. I mean, it shows here, I didn't know what Sophie's Plus was, but Nicole did, so she could help Kim. We all helped each other. You all helped me, once again, saving me with my seam allowance on my zippers. That would have made me really sad, because it would have made everything out by like 1/4 of an inch. Actually, it would have been like 1/2 inch, and we would have had to trim it up, and that wouldn't have been good. So I hope everybody had fun. Thank you, Kim. I'm glad you thought it was a great class. And I'll see most of you on Thursday for the Lola class. And again, make sure you reach out if you need any help. All right. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you next time. Bye. Bye.